time is it? It's time for Go Live. Hey everybody, how you doing out there in COVID land? I hope that you're all keeping safe and I hope you're all feeling good because it's time to get up off that sofa and get cracking. I'm Lucky Duck. You can call me Lucky or you can call me Ducky. And I'm going to be bringing you lots of exciting new stuff that you're going to learn about swimming. Keep your contact in there with swimming. And we're going to be bringing you some outrageous dryland with coaches Corey and Coach Luke. Today, we're going to talk about why we need to stay in touch with our swimming, why we need to keep working out and staying fit so that when we get our water back, and we will get our water back, we will not have missed out on too much. Today, Coach Pat is going to talk to you about stuff like that, and I know you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be far farther ahead than all your competitors because we are Gold Live. Go Gold!
Hi, Chattahoochee Gold. Welcome to our first broadcast of Facebook Live for our quarantine time. Now, these are strange times for sure. And I want to tell you about another strange time in the city of Atlanta and in the world of swimming. So I'm going to take you back to the year 1990. And these were strange times for the city because of our sports teams. They couldn't win anything. The Braves would play at the old Fulton County Stadium in front of hundreds of people, not thousands or tens of thousands, like 500 people. And the Falcons and the Hawks were terrible, and we were called by sports writers Losersville. So imagine living in Losersville. Who wants to live there? So it was in that environment that some businessmen got together and said, let's make a bid for the 1996 Olympic Games. Pretty bold. So they put together the bid, but it was understood that the sentimental favorite would be the city of Athens, because Athens, going back 2,000 years before, had hosted the original Olympic Games, and they were also the first ones to host it in 1896, and this would be the 100-year anniversary. So we pretty much expected it was going to go to Athens. Atlanta had a lot to offer. So these things were weighed, and on one fall morning in 1990, television sets all over Atlanta were turned to the announcements. And the announcer came on, head of the IOC, and he said, the 1996 Games are hereby awarded to the city of Atlanta. And you could hear cries of joy go up throughout the city. And the next day there was a parade, and the headlines of the paper the next day said, we finally won something, which is exactly what it felt like. So people got busy, and designs were drawn up, and holes were dug, and roads paved, dorms built, pools built, and it was an exciting time. There used to be a big countdown clock on the downtown connector that showed you the number of days left, and it started at like 500 days, and it would go down. And the game of a lot of families was, when you were driving through downtown, to guess what the number was going to be. So my wife and I both became volunteers for the swimming venue, and one day one of the guys in charge of swimming said, we think you should build a 50-meter pool to help the teams that come over before the village opens up. And I said, well, if you send me a letter with some fancy signatures, I'll see what I can do. And to my surprise, a week later, a letter shows up, and it's got the rings, and I show it around, and the city of Woodstock says, we'll give you the land, and another guy says, I'll dig the hole, and somebody else says, I'll do the fence, and citizens are saying, I'll bring a tree to plant. And so this thing got going. So 2 weeks before the Olympic Games, the Russian Olympic team shows up, and they stay with our families. How cool is that? Imagine your guest bedroom being occupied by somebody born and raised in Belarus who dreams to get the Olympic gold in the 100 breast. And they speak a little bit of English, and you speak no Russian. And it's a pretty magical 2 weeks to have that person in your lives. So like I said, at this point we had spent all our money building this pool. When the Russians got there, we had wet paint signs. I guess we should have put them in Russian. We didn't think to do that. Parking lot was dirt, but there was a pool with water in it. And because we had no money left, we wanted to give them a goodie bag, and we grabbed what we had. We gave them a Chattahoochee Gold water bottle, and in the bag we put one of the Chattahoochee Gold caps, just like you guys wear today, the black cap with the gold lettering. So that was our going away gift to our Russian friends. You drive them down to the Olympic Village and you let them out, and it's a sad day because you won't do this again in your life. It was pretty amazing. That night was the rehearsal for the opening ceremony. And because my wife had been so involved with the swimming, we got 2 tickets to go to it. So Turner Field was much bigger then. They actually shrunk it down for the baseball games, but it held 100,000 people at this time. And imagine this thing filled to the brim with people that had prayed and had slaved over the past 6 years to bring this moment that would put Atlanta on the international map. That's who's in the stands. And so it's a pretty appreciative crowd, naturally. And they do the music and the marching and the dances and the speeches. And then the critical part I'm going to share with you. In the middle of the field, a trap door opens and a boy hops out, and he has the Greek flag, and he runs over to the track and he starts to make his way around, and the announcer says, 1896, the city of Athens. Another kid pops out. He has the British flag, and it says, the announcer says, 1900, city of London. And they're jogging around. USA flag comes out, 1904, city of St. Louis. And you kind of see, oh, okay, this is where they're going. So they're running around, and the line's growing, and different flags are coming out. And there's this one line that's kind of picking up steam as it runs around the track. And then they get to the moment, and they say, 1996. And the fastest kid I've ever seen pops out of this trap door, and he has the American flag, and he starts running to catch up with the line. And as he gets up to the line splits into 2, and he goes up through the middle of it. So you see that this is happening. And as this line is going around the curve of the Coliseum, people are spontaneously jumping to their feet in a human wave, cheering this moment. And back then we didn't have iPhones. We had cameras with flashes. So people are taking pictures as this boy runs in front of them. So there's this human wave, and then there's a sea of sparkles that are following this kid around the stadium. And he runs to the front, and now everyone's on their feet. And he peels off from the line and runs up this ramp. And you realize he's running toward the Olympic flame. And he gets about halfway up, and the music peaks, and he turns around to the crowd, and he thrusts the flag out like this. And the crowd goes wild. Lots of tears in the audience, as you can imagine. So the next night, we're thinking, we got to see this with all the volunteers. How are we going to top this? But the next night was pretty cool. So this is the actual opening ceremonies on TV going out to 200 million people. And into the stadium comes Evander Holyfield with the torch. Evander was the heavyweight world championship in boxing, and he was from Atlanta. And some of you older swimmers may know that his son would later swim for Chattahoochee Gold. So Evander comes in, and people love this guy, and crowd is on their feet, and he runs around, and he hands the torch to Janet Evans, America's sweetheart from the 88 and 92 Olympic Games, multiple gold medal winner, and world record holder in the distance freestyles. So Janet takes the torch, and she runs around and goes up the ramp toward the flame there, and out of the shadows steps the legendary Muhammad Ali, who takes the torch and lights the Olympic flame. And it was a goosebump moment. Terrific day to be in Atlanta. So the next day the swimming starts. Now I told you that Beth was a volunteer for the Olympics, and get what job she had. Her job was to stand at the end of the pool, and when somebody won a medal, she said, "Come with me." So the first American to win a medal in the Atlanta Games was a woman named Angel from Georgia. How cool is that? A friend of ours, in front of a hometown crowd in Atlanta, wins the first American medal. So Beth says, "Angel, that's terrific." And so Angel gets out, she gets on her warm-ups, goes down to the podium. Now the podium is in the same place at Georgia Tech that you see the Olympic rings on the wall now. But imagine standing there with the American flag going up and the anthems playing, and knowing that 200 million people are watching around the world. So really great moment. The rest of the week plays out. Medals are won, records set, USA does great. At the end of the week, Angel is retiring from swimming. This is her last meet. What a way to go out. And she invites Beth and I to go with her family to the AT&T Global Village to be part of her retirement party. So we go through security, go in there, and it's just great. You know, kids from all over the world are coming up, getting autographs from Angel, and we are just pinching ourselves that we get to be part of this scene. Now Angel's tired. She says good night and thank you, and she goes off, and then her family leaves. And Beth and I are going to stay there as late as we can because we want to breathe the rarefied air and just savor the moment. Well, around midnight, outside the window of where we're sitting is Centennial Park, and there's a big boom. And it sounds like the cannon that goes off at a football game when somebody scores a touchdown, or a transformer blowing. And then we saw people running. So we went to the side door to go out, and we saw a Japanese man and his wife go by, and the man was hurt. And we knew that something bad had happened. So we got down to the corner and looked back towards Centennial Park, and we saw people laying motionless in the grass and smoke hanging over the area and first responders arriving. And it was heartbreaking. We get onto the subway, and we're the only ones on the subway. We're going back home, and we're sad. We're thinking, we owe money to everybody for building this pool. We've put our hearts into this moment for the Atlanta Games. Beth and I strung together all the floats for the lane ropes for the pool over several days' time. All of our fellow citizens, this is like the proudest moment of their lives. And now there are people dead and hurt. And we think the Olympics are going to get called off. In fact, we're afraid the Olympic movement's going to get canceled. So we wake up the next morning, and sure enough, the Olympics have been called off for that day, and they're going to figure out what to do. Now, you swimmers that went to age group sectionals, you know what it's like to stand on the edge of the pool with your cap and your goggles on and have the meet called off. You kids going to NCSAs in Orlando, you know what it feels like to work toward a long goal and then have it dashed. So you can understand what it felt like to these athletes that came in from all over the world in all these different sports, these different events, to wake up the next morning and find out it's called off. It might be rescheduled, but right now it looks like it's not going to. Wow. So the next day they announced that the Centennial Park's going to reopen, and please come down to this. So Beth and I thought it was our civic duty to go down to this park and show our support. So we put our 2-year-old daughter in the backpack, and we head down on the subway down there. And there's some other people on the subway with us, and we're all nervous. And we're wondering if there's going to be more terrorism. And we wonder if anyone else is going to show up. So we get there, and there's heavy security. There's like National Guard guys with machine guns and huge rifles. And you go through the metal detector. So it feels safe, but it feels like it's a war zone. But here's the cool thing. The place was packed. It was overflowing. There was a line to get in. It's like the whole city showed up. Now, you got inside, and you're kind of checking out everyone to see if it looks like anybody's a bomber or if they're a terrorist, and they're looking at you too the same way. But after a little bit, you relax and you realize that you were so proud that you and your fellow citizens were there, and they nod at you and you nod back, and that's what that meant. And I don't know that this is true, but I think because of the turnout at the park, they decided to open the Olympic Games up again. They never did turn off the torch. No, they kept that going the whole time. So the games restart, records are set, medals are won, closing ceremonies, and the bombing became a footnote instead of the exclamation point of the Atlanta Games. And by the way, those Russian kids that we gave the goodie bag to, the way they repaid us for our hospitality is when they were warming up each morning for their races, they wore the Chattahoochee Gold swim cap on their heads. And my swimming friends from around the country that were in the stands, they were besides themselves. They said, "How did you pull that off?" And I said, "I didn't know they were going to do this." But imagine that, being at the Olympic Games and seeing the Chattahoochee Gold cap on lots of kids going up and down the pool. Nice moment. So the games went on, and they continue to go on. And who knows what's going to happen with Tokyo, but my bet is it'll go on. Maybe it gets rescheduled. We don't know. But we're in somewhat the same situation. We're in a situation where what we've put ourselves into has been put on hold. And we have to be brave, and we have to have faith in the goodness of our fellow citizens. And we have to be patient. Your parents have a lot to worry about, things that are beyond you. And they need to know that you're safe and secure and that you're going to do what you have to do to get through this safely. Your teammates could count on you for your leadership to show that this is going to pass, that we're going to be fine. And right now it feels a little bit like a snow day, but in a few weeks this won't feel like a snow day. We'll be ready for this to be done. But you just got to remember, like the city of Atlanta did before you, that even if it's a little bit scary, that if we do the things we have to do, that life will go back to normal. So, speaking back to normal, we have a good dryland program coming up for you, and we want you to hit it hard and work up a sweat, and we'll be back again tomorrow with more stories. Now, some of this is going to be about breaststroke and butterfly. There might be a juicy morsel in there where Coach Luke shows you his cooking tips. I think we've got some other fun things that will be coming your way pretty soon. So please tune in every day, and we will see you in a little bit.
Oh, pool's closed. Looks like we'll have to be outside for a while. Come on, follow me. Hello, and welcome to Chattahoochee Gold Live. This is our first episode of our Dryland series, and today I want to take you through our Dryland warm-up. This is something that's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. You'll do this before every single one of our main Dryland workouts, and hopefully it'll get you loosened up, ready to rock and roll before every one of our workouts, okay? My name's Coach Luke. Along beside me is Coach Corey, and we're going to be taking you through every single one of our Dryland workouts over these next couple weeks. Hope you enjoy. All right, here we go. Dryland starts with a light jog, about 25 yards away. I would set these cones. Coming back is the exercise, first exercise. Going walking lunges, making sure that knee gets to the ground lightly, touching the ground, keeping the chest up high, spine vertical. Try not to rest those arms on the tops of those knees. And on the back another way, jog. Can streamline too with those lunges, make it a little more of a challenge. High knees, could get them up a little higher. Come on. And another jog coming back. Butt kickers. Getting those heels up, getting them fast, up and back down from that rear end. Another light jog. What a nice day this was, honestly. Side shuffles, going to the left. Trying to keep the belly button facing forward while shuffling to the left. Now coming back, doing the right. I think I could have done a little bit better of a job keeping that belly button facing forward on those shuffles. All right, I like to call these cherry pickers. You're trying to skip high, jumping for height, not so much for distance, but pushing through each individual foot, jumping for height, reaching as far as you can up in the sky. Karaoke going down left, running, coming back. And finishing off karaoke right. Karaoke, I'm not sure what some people call it different. All right, last little thing. Inchworms, these really warm up the back of your body. I'm not going to show you the whole way I went down there on these. It takes quite a bit of time. But take your time, feel that stretch down at the bottom. Keeping those legs straight all the way up and down. And yeah, make sure that you can go back through and watch this warm up again. Also at the end, there will be a segment that it's written down on, so you can follow this warm up, and you should do it every day before our main dryland exercises. Okay, but it'll be showing up here at the end in a second here. I was struggling here a little bit at the end. That warm up is a good one. Gets everything pumping. All right, day one, first exercise routine, first dryland routine. Here we go. Lunges. Now I did these jumping, and it was extremely difficult. Okay, feel free to go regular lunges. The jumping's just an added, man, those things kill you. Okay. Burpees, those were the full push-up. Mountain climbers. Oh man, keeping that heart pumping. Flutter kicks. Okay, make sure those toes are pointed. I think maybe a second in that video coming up here that you'll see that my toes weren't as pointed. That definitely, having those toes pointed engages that core a little bit more, get a better squeeze out of those flutter kicks. Superman holds. Okay, so you're going to try to hold that for the whole 40 seconds. And we'll show you what that is in the video. And then finishing off with squats. Okay, that's 6 exercises we went through. I went through 2 rounds of that. All right, I bet there's some people out there that can go 3, 4. Go for it. Okay. Yeah, so there's your first exercise here. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest. We'll post the exercises at the end of the clip here, and make sure to comment and let us know what you think at the end here. All right, here we go. Did those jumping lunges. Oh man, these ended up being very difficult. And I was not wearing the right shoes. Not at all. All right, but definitely jumping, trying to explode through the lead leg that comes forward. Okay, making sure that the shin and the thigh are perpendicular to each other. Okay, 90-degree angle from the knee to the heel, from the knee into the hip. Oh man, this was tough. And you know, I challenge you, do the jump lunges. All right, those things are hard. I was struggling. You'll see later. I was struggling in round 2. That was difficult. Getting that 15 seconds rest here. Oh man. All right, burpees. Now, I'm a firm believer in great form, okay? Making sure that you're doing the technique right. 1, because of injury prevention, but 2, it's how the exercise was designed to build muscle, right? You don't want to be doing things the wrong way.
You build things the wrong way, end up with a lot of problems later on in the future. Full burpee all the way down. Remember, burpee, notice how I'm in the same position. I'm not moving around, not shuffling around. Okay, both feet kick back, both feet come forward. Okay, and there's got to be a jump with the hands getting over the head at the end of that burpee there. Taking that 15 seconds rest again. Oh, I'm hurting. This was a good one. Mountain climbers. Oh yeah, getting those knees up high. Really works those lower ab muscles. Also just keeps the blood moving. All right. And you're trying not to round that back so much. I think I might get a little fatigued here and might see that towards the end, but yeah, wrong shoes too. Jeez. But yeah, again, look at the feet don't touch the bottom at the top. Okay, so when I'm bringing that knee up to my elbow, I'm not letting those toes rest. There's no rest at the top. No rest in this thing. You just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. Debating on losing the shoes here. All right. Next exercise, flutter kicks. As I said before, you want to keep those toes pointed. I was not keeping those toes pointed. I was letting them relax a little bit. Still getting some good work. Definitely want those toes to be pointed. Legs straight. Letting them pass through each other. Yeah, trying to point those toes now, I think. Maybe a little bit, not so much. Just keep it moving. Don't stop either. Oh, I'm getting tired. Oh, man. Just keep this thing going here. Oh, the Superman hold. All right, now this one is a challenge here, okay? We do a lot of ab exercises that strengthen the front of our core, right? Everybody thinks about those six-packed abs, but you're also trying to build those back abs, right? Those lower back muscles, mid-back muscles. Okay, so you're trying to keep the thighs off the ground on this one, keeping those arms straight. I think you can tell I'm struggling keeping these arms straight here. But the chest is off the ground, the thighs are off the ground, and really what's on the ground is just my hip line, okay, my belt line. Oh man, and everything is engaged on this on the back of the body. My rear delts, the backs of my shoulders, all the way down to my glute muscles, and those low back muscles. That's a tough one right there. But if you want to, if you can't do that on land, your streamline is going to fall apart when you're in the water swimming. Okay, so very important exercise right there. Air squats. Yeah. Trying to get the rear end down to at least 90 degrees, maybe a little bit lower. Okay. Keeping the chest out. You'll notice how the knee is trying to be in line with the ankle, right? With the heel right there. My knees aren't coming way forward over my toes and stuff. The weight is trying to be on the back of my heels. It's actually okay if you feel the front of the toes lift off the ground, and you might feel like, oh man, I'm going to fall over. That's how you're doing it right. Okay. Now, yeah, you don't want to fall over, but the weight should be so far back on those heels that the front of those toes might even lift up a little bit. Uh-oh, I think I go round 2 here. Maybe an extra 30. I think so. Get some water. Hydration, it's important. I think it was Stanford University or something. They came up with something where they said even if you're 2% dehydrated, it affects your performance up to 20%. something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers. But hydration is important. Okay, they say even non-athletes, you drink 8 bottles of water a day. Excuse me. Athletes, you know, you got to drink way more than that. Okay, back to those lunges. Oh, the jumping again, it's hard. I started out, I told myself no, but I came back and I said yes. Chattahoochee Gold needs this. Jumping split lunges. These things are difficult. Oh man, you got to get after this. Oh, bonus would be jumping into a streamline. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Ooh, I'm getting tired. Jumping's fading. Come on. Oh man, using the arm swing to help me get off the ground there. This is the tough one here. Yeah. Yeah, everything's cooked on the lower half of the body for sure. Took the shoes off. Said no. I couldn't. The K-Swiss wasn't happening today. Had to take them off. Should have wore the New Balances. Made a bad choice. Back to those, those burpees. Man, I'm cooked now. Just keep grinding at this one.
Need to hear now. Need to hear now. Need to hear now. Need to hear now.
All right, but they were quick. So now we got an ab workout for you, a little ab circuit. It's gonna consist of 4 exercises here. You're gonna sit up, you're gonna plank, you're gonna heel touch, and then you're gonna hold those legs 6 inches off the ground. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 3 rounds. Now, we're gonna do this as a team together. This is gonna be in both Dryland videos today. So, if you're in gold or below, gold advanced or below, I want you guys to go for 2 rounds, and then if you can hit that 3rd round, do it. But if not, that's your requirement for today. Now, if you're in sectional and up, you gotta hang with me for all 3, because I know that 3rd round is no fun. But, we're gonna get through it together, okay? This is another 12 minutes here of ab workouts. And then we'll see you tomorrow after that. All right, let's head back over.
Let's get it.
All right, guys, first round here of your abs circuit. This is for everybody on Chattahoochee Gold across the board, from Tekken Fit to intro, all the way up through national. This is a good ab exercise routine to go through, and we're gonna go through it together. So the first thing you got here is sit-ups. Now I'm doing your normal touch behind your head, touch your toes movement that a lot of our coaches use. However, you'll see in the second round, there's some different ways we can do this. We can cross our arms, we can hold our biceps with the opposite hand. Any of these ways are appropriate and great ways to do it. You get a little momentum swing from using the hands, and since we're going 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, sometimes it's best to go for a few extra reps using this method. All right, so we're gonna start out with these sit-ups, and then we are going to move directly into a plank. So you're going to go from sit-ups, you get that 15 seconds rest, and you're going straight into a plank here. Alright, so we're in that plank, shoulders are directly over the elbows, feet are slightly spread apart, back is in a straight line. So my hips are low, my legs are straight, you're making sure you're tightening that back, nothing's rounded, and the head is neutral, so the top of that spine, right where your head and back connect. You want to make sure that spot is as flat as you can get it without arching your back and pushing your head back. So push those shoulders up, make sure you're getting good firm contact on the ground. One of the most underestimated exercises I have ever done in a dryland in my life. Looks super simple, but it is totally not when you do it correctly. Lift those shoulders off the ground, make sure your arms are straight, and if this is easy, move your heels slightly further away from your hands. Make sure you're touching on each side and your hips and backside stay in firm contact with the ground right there, but your back is almost fully off the ground. These will get your side abdominals, your oblique muscles working really hard. Right here, the 6-inch leg hold. My kids know I love to do these all the time. They are a complete hold of your core. You are putting your hands directly underneath your hips and holding your feet no more than 6 inches off the ground. Obviously that's a range, you want to keep them close. More importantly than the height, you want to worry about keeping those legs super straight, the toes as pointed as you can. I have awful ankle flexibility, but you want to try and point those toes straight. All right. Keep that head placed a little further back. I was wearing a hat in this video, so I didn't lay my head back like I should, but you always want to keep that spine in line. We talk about it all the time with things like streamlines and doing a bunch of different dryland exercises, so you're always trying to get in that straight line. right, getting into round 2 and 3 here. I'm going to let you guys get to this. Just follow along with the same 4 exercises, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Go ahead and either watch your own clock or just follow along with what I am doing in the video. All right, guys, get after it, have fun, and we will see you tomorrow. All right, we are getting to the end of that second round. So if you are in Gold Advance or below and your abs are really feeling it right now, go ahead and call it a day. Great job. Everybody else, stick around, and anybody in that Gold Advance or below that wants to hang out for that third round, feel free. We're going to keep plugging along here. All right, guys, great job on your first day here on Chattahoochee Gold Live's Dryland program. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you all tune in tomorrow and keep up with us. Go ahead and comment below those push-up numbers from the first workout. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Good stretch. What an amazing workout. Woo! I am beat. I hope you are too. I hope you got a good workout from that, broke a good sweat, and are feeling energized, looking forward to the practice tomorrow. Tomorrow, Coach Mark Walshauser is going to be bringing you great stuff on butterfly, helping you to really zero in on all those great little tips and techniques that's going to make your fly amazing when you get back in the water. And of course, we'll join Coach Corey and Coach Luke for another amazing dryland tomorrow. Keep working, keep positive. Tomorrow, I want to hear from you about how amazing you feel this Go Live is going. And do something interesting. How about going and doing some research online and see what your spirit animal is? I know I'm probably a dragon, as some of my swimmers know. Tune in tomorrow. Go Gold!